Good afternoon. Where's my lights? They're not on. How are we doing? Afternoon, everybody. Peter, Michael, Soul Trader, Crom, Dennis, Monkey, Brandon. How we doing? Virginia, Joe. Happy Wednesday. It's Doom Day today. Afternoon, Mark. It is the day that everything goes to crap, basically. So, yeah, should be fun. Basically, today we've got Trump speaking. Says it's 9 o'clock tonight. So that's basically when we're expecting it all to go wrong. But I'm not quite sure exactly whether it is going to be that time or not. We'll have to wait and see. But so yeah, today is obviously tariff day. So all the new tariffs are going to be announced. Even some people in the White House don't know what he's going to say this evening. So hold on to your hats. It's going to be a fun one. Afternoon, Mark, John, Marco. So yeah, this morning, bit of a whippy open. Nice trade on the SIH this morning. Quick in and out. Where's my pen gone? So yeah, SIH this morning got hedged on the DAX. Broke down straight to 5R. Target taken. Aggressive exit done. So that was nice and easy today. There was no trade on the FTSE on the SIH today. The range was not right. Just gone long on everything. Wow, everything's breaking exactly the same. Look at that. S&P, NASDAQ, sorry, DOW, and FTSE. FTSE. We'll get it right in a minute. NASDAQ, NAS, S&P, DOW. All breaking long. So yeah, nice profit on that one today so far. We'll see how the ORB goes today as well. Opening range breakouts today. DAX was a lovely clean break. So straight down on the 5-minute ORB today to target. And then pushed a little bit further and got taken out on the trailer. It has actually pushed further as well, but I got taken out on the trailer. So banked that. And the FTSE today was a nightmare. So we had this price action here. That was the 5-minute opening range this morning. Got triggered into a long and stopped out in the first 5-minute candle, in the 10-minute candle. Triggered in on the 15-minute candle, stopped out. Triggered in again on the candle afterwards, stopped out. And then we triggered short and hit target. And then stopped out on a trailer. So the whole purpose of the loss recovery system within the opening range breakout EA and strategy is to deal with exactly this situation where we just get chopped to death at the open, which happens. But the loss recovery system gradually increases the lot size depending on what's happening in the account. And as you can see, it's recovered nicely. That was 1,000 and I think about 1,100 loss, which has recouped it back down to 265. So doing its job. So long break on the S&P, range too small on the NASDAQ, and looking to take a break on the Dow. So we'll see where those go. Got a test running there. So the... I'm not set up properly this morning, this afternoon. Afternoon, everybody else. John, Marco, I've already said hello to you, haven't I? So this morning, obviously, we've had a fair bit of price action. Markets, we've got some ADRs, as you can see. Aussie dollar CAD has hit ADR straight into the weekly highs again. This is holding like a rock at the minute. So I suspect we'll be back down here again by the end of the session today. Aussie dollar Swiss, again, ADR hit to the upside, pulling back. Aussie dollar New Zealand, downside. That's just rejecting now at ADR at these lows. So that's a really good looking long opportunity. You got an inside bar there with a lovely big wick rejection for the last 2 hours. So M15 reversal alerts up there. M5, you've had one. Oh, no, you haven't yet, actually, because of the size of that move. Speed of that move, rather. So you're just about to get an alert on those two on the ADR reversal. Pound New Zealand, that's an ADR hit to the downside. There's the reversal alert and the retest, and off we go. So that one's played out already. Most of these have already played out, so if you got into them, you're in them. New Zealand CAD, New Zealand Swiss, and New Zealand US as well. So there's your New Zealand CAD hit to the upside. Mainly this is Canadian dollar weakness. New Zealand Swiss, a lot of money running out of the Swiss franc, it seems, today, which is unusual because we're worried about what Trump's doing. So normally you'd see it coming in, but and a rally there on New Zealand US. So there's loads of ADR movement, not massive. We've got weekly hits already. We're on a Wednesday, so I say already, Wednesday. So if you're looking for weekly reversals, we've got a few to look at there. Euro odd. So there's your weekly hit to, where are we? Wednesday. Yeah, so that's a weekly hit to the downside off the back of that M pattern. That's already started to play out. You've already had a reversal on the hourly on that one. So the 15 or the 5 minute would have been earlier this morning. There we go. So there's your 5 minute reversal alert that's gone in there. Also Euro New Zealand. So a lot of these are the same. Euro odd, Euro New Zealand, very much the same pair doing the same thing. Pound odd, again, it's very much the same as the Euro odd. So they're going to be very, very similar price action. But all of these have started to play out. So these basically have hit the weekly range to the pip and pop back up. But everything you do today is going to be trumped later. So it doesn't really matter. If you get into these, you just need to be protected ahead of what Trump's going to do. New Zealand dollar Swiss, there's your weekly range hit. And it's a 125 ADR reversal today. So that's a good looking short. So yeah, lots of opportunities today. Nothing's hit the monthly. RSIs, there was quite a few this morning. They've gone now. Euro New Zealand is a hit to the downside on the hourly. So there you go. So that one's just starting to play out now. Nice extension to the downside. There's your upside extension. And pull back on that one. And New Zealand dollar CAD, that's also hit to the upside. So again, that's a resistance bounce potentially off of this monthly level here. That's the bounce off the monthly level. Then we came back and retested it, potentially retesting again. So pulling back either into these yesterday's high, previous day's high, or back down into that propulsion gap. So good looking opportunities all over the place today. But as I say, it really depends on what Trump does this evening. So just see how we're doing on these breaks. Market's very strong. I'd imagine we've got some weak US dollar this afternoon. No. It's a potential 3-bar reversal just about to complete in the next 4 minutes. If that candle closes as it is right now, breaking that low, that's a beautiful 3-bar reversal, push, pause, pull pattern. So yeah, nice breaks. Is this going to continue to rally today? That's the question. Come back to those in a minute. Right. News. So, this morning's news was non-farm unemployment, which came out as a positive. If you look at the US dollar today, so this is Euro US dollar, this is the inverse of the dollar index. So Euro's pushed up, which means negative US dollar today. So if you look at the pound US and the Euro US, both of these have been rallying today, not massively. We're well within ADR. So we've only had roughly half an ADR push, but that should tell you something. The fact that we've got news came out, which is positive for the US dollar, and the US dollar is weakening. So the market at the moment is, it seems in fear mode ahead of what Trump is going to say later on today. So this is going to kickstart a massive trade war. So within the next week, we're going to have every single tariff combated by the other countries. So this is really where it's going to start to kick off. I was saying to my wife last night, we've not had this before. We've had Trump in presidency before. We've had trade wars before. We've had Trump using tariffs before. But this is something else. This is an extent of tariff across the world that we have not seen. The fact that he's putting these tariffs on and also removing support for Ukraine and various other areas where we've had financial support through Europe and the rest of the world. It's a new world order basically being placed in this evening, basically. So how each country is going to react to these tariffs, we're just going to have to wait and see. But you can be sure there's going to be some movement. So it's very, very hard to know what the market is going to do. You just missed my take profit on both of those, haven't you? I'm going to take. I'm going to take the S&P off. I've got a hedge there on the NASDAQ, unfortunately. So I just got hedged on the NAS there. So I'm just going to use that to pay for that. And then obviously that is my runner on the SIH today. It's already up 2%. So missed the close there as well. Okay, I'm just closing the S&P out completely. I'm going to cancel that pending off as well, just because I want to get the day back green. Whoops. That would have hit target anyway. So just the only reason I'm closing that manually is because I just want to get this green. And I've got a runner on the Dow. So if it does continue to push, the Dow will likely go with it, and the Dow target is up there. So this is basically going to be the profit today. But I'm just cautious at the moment that this move is not going to be sustained and it's going to come back down. Just want to be a bit careful today because, you know, we don't know what the hell's going on, do we, with Trump? David, Harold, Elevated Trading Hub, afternoon. David, my friend, always good to see you. Happy David Day. I like David Day. Wednesday, I call it. Most people call it Wednesday. I call it David Day. Thank you very much, David. Much appreciated, the $10. Very nice. Afternoon, Pot DJ. Canada has agreed to lift tariffs, but only if the US does the same. Yep, this is what a trade war is. It's just pointless. The whole thing is pointless. I was saying to my wife last night, again, because I like to bore her with all the stuff about economics, but all he's doing basically is devaluing the dollar, potentially taking the status of the dollar as the world's main currency away from the dollar, and making everybody in the US or making America crap again and destroying world economics and everybody else at the same time. So all that happens is if you put a tariff on us in the UK, if you put the 25% tariff on exports for cars to the US, we will find exactly, I think it's 400 million in something. I think the total cost is something like 2 billion that we export over to the US roughly. We will just basically find a way to get 2 billion back from you on everything that you import to us. Yeah. So you don't win, we don't win, everybody in the world gets poor. That's basically what a trade war is. There can never be a winner in a trade war because every time you do something, we have the ability to do the opposite back to you. Yeah, you shoot one of our guys, we shoot one of your guys. At the end of the day, we'll end up with no guys left. That's basically what a trade war does. So even the White House, members of the White House now are just turning around and saying, what the f are you doing? This is ridiculous. It's pointless. All you're doing is you're destroying everything. So, this evening is the crux of it, basically, we are finding out the exact details of everything. And within a week, we're going to have it all undone, basically, because that's what will happen. It will either get undone by Trump removing it, or it will get undone by every country combating that. Japan, China, and Korea have already, South Korea, not North Korea, have already grouped together and undone his tariffs. Europe are about to do the same. Canada have already done the same. Mexico, I'm not sure they can really do a lot about it, to be honest. I'm not sure exactly what they export into the US, apart from drugs. But, you know, they can put them up. So we will see. Anyway, so that's this evening's news. Tomorrow morning, we've also got the Swiss franc CPI. Again, forecast to drop. So that'll be on before I do the member stream tomorrow morning. So be aware of that if you've got any Swiss franc exposure. But yeah, it'll all be kicking off this evening. Just want to keep an eye on these and see where we're going. We are starting to stall out a little bit up at the highs. Big, strong rally on all the indices this afternoon. But we are starting to stall out a little. Just need to, if you're using the ORB EA, just be aware that pending orders get left in place until end of day, even if you've made a profit. So I'm just going to, on the DAX, I'm just cancelling off, and on the FTSE, I'm cancelling off these pending orders, because what I don't want to do is get whipsawed into orders basically this evening when Trump speaks. They won't have been cancelled off by the time Trump speaks. They might be, actually. But if not, just be aware you might want to cancel any pending orders you've got, because you're not going to get the prices you ask for if the market goes crazy when he starts talking. So just be aware of any orders you may have left in pending orders before Trump speaks, just in case it goes mad. If you only had to trade one RSI or ADR extension, what would you pick? Oh, RSI or ADR? RSI every day. I'm thinking ADR is key to everything, including targets. If you're going to trade, if you're talking about mean reversion strategy, the downside to trading ADR is, let's find one. I'll show you the exact downside to ADR. Aussie dollar CAD. Let's find another one that's maybe a little bit better to demonstrate what I mean. Yeah, they're all extended at the moment. That's not going to help me today. It's a bit of a, yeah, today's not going to work as an example, but Aussie CAD's probably the best. Right, so you got Aussie CAD extended, yeah, to ADR here at resistance. RSI is not extended. Yeah, the problem with using ADR for position trading long term is you are going to get in at the very start of a squeeze potentially. So RSI is not extended. If this had been down here, yeah, so if this, when this low was put in, if price had pushed down further and this was down here, when you hit ADR to the upside, you could have an RSI in the middle there, which is basically the start of a leg up. Yeah. So you're better off taking RSI, because usually RSI shows more extension in the market, which means that you're going to pull back faster. Up to you though. There's no right or wrong. Sometimes ADR is amazing. Sometimes ADR isn't amazing. Sometimes RSI is crap. Yeah. Everything. There's no indicator on the planet you can use which is reliable. Yeah. Because indicators trail price. Yeah. They are just literally a reading of price action, which has nothing to do with future price action. Yeah. So it doesn't matter which one you pick. I like the RSI because it shows you the relative strength between two currencies. Yeah. So it tells me that there has been a strong move in the Aussie and a weak move in the CAD for that to get extended to the upside, which means that typically you'll get a mean reversion starting within 2 to 3 positions, within 2 to 3 ADR of where you go. Yeah. You can use weeklies. Yeah, weeklies is also another great indicator. So you, on EuroOdd, for example, using that as your initial entry. So you don't get into your first entry in a position until you've got that extension to the downside. But look, you've also got an RSI extension. And if it pushes down further today, you'll also have an ADR extension. Yeah. Everything I do with mean reversion uses indicators to show extreme conditions. It doesn't mean it's going to come back down. It means it's gone somewhere. Yeah. Doesn't tell you what's happening in the future. So use whichever one you want. I would always side on RSI because RSI is going to give you less signals. And the market has to have pushed further to get an RSI extension than an ADR. But up to you. Don't forget, I have absolutely no clue where price is going, when it's going, how it's going to get there. And no one on the planet does either. So I can tell you what I would do, but it doesn't mean I'm right. It means that I've watched this thing go up and down for 18 years, and I've been wrong and I've been right at the same time on everything. Yeah, so if I go long now on that reversal alert on M15, so we've got an RSI extension on the Euro odd to the downside, drop down M15, reversal alert's triggered. If I had gone long there, yeah, it's moving in my direction. This evening, it'll either be down there or it'll be up there. You've got to have a reason to get in. An RSI extension on the hourly time frame with a 15-minute reversal alert is as good a reason as any. I haven't got a clue whether it'll work or not. But what I will do is I will manage that position after I've entered and make money by managing the position, not by getting it right. A signal and a strategy is a reason to get into the market. That doesn't make you money. What makes you money is whether the market goes in that direction or that direction. If it goes in that direction, easy. If it goes in that direction, you change your price and then you get out at a later stage. Whether you use an RSI or an ADR or a weekly range extension, doesn't matter. Yeah. Sometimes that'll be right. Sometimes that'll be right. Sometimes that'll be right. Roughly 50% of the time. If you use a 4-hour 80-20 extension, you'll be right a hell of a lot more. But sometimes even that won't work. Sometimes it will. On this chart here, you've got 4 signals on an 80 to 20 4-hour RSI is like my, if you put a gun to my head and said, you've got 10 trades over the next year. If you do not get a strike rate above 60%, I will shoot you. I would go to the 4-hour RSI and I would only trade the 80-20 and I will have a great strike rate. Yeah, but it will also be wrong. That whole thing was wrong until it was right. Yeah, right. Right. Just about. Right. Just about. There was one there as well, which was right on the second entry. Yeah, first entry, second entry, average, out. But that was totally wrong. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. These indicators trail price action. Price action leads future price action. You cannot see the future, therefore you just have to push the button at some point. That's all you can do. And you manage your risk. You can spend your entire life, as I have, looking at systems, strategies, indicators, price action, ICT, BTMM, you name anything on the planet, I have done it. Renko blocks, the lot. Yeah, futures, options, Forex, indices, crypto for a little bit, very small amount of time. I've traded everything. I've traded every strategy. There is not one on the planet that will consistently work because the market regime will change, the indicators will lag, and the price will do what the price needs to do, and you can't predict it. Flip a coin, press a button, and get in. Wait, see if it goes your way. That's what you do. Momentum breakouts like the ORB strategy, yeah, work fantastically when there's momentum breakouts. When there's not momentum breakouts, it doesn't work. But can you tell if there's a momentum breakout today? Somebody said in the Discord group today regarding this exact trade here on the DAX this morning. No, the FTSE rather. We should use an offset. Yeah. So rather than having the entry on the high and the low, we should offset instead. So what's the offset? Do you want to use 5 pips, 10 pips, 15 pips, 2 pips, 7 pips? Pick one. Because today you should have used 5 pips, but tomorrow you shouldn't have used 5 pips. You should have used 10 pips. But the next day you should have used 2 pips. Unless you can tell me what the hell the price is doing tomorrow, you don't know where to offset it. So you might as well just leave it where it is. It will either trigger or it won't. Because you can't see the future. Just get in, play the edge. The edge is there. Plays out beautifully. Yeah. If you'd have offset today by whatever that distance is, you would not have taken those 3 losses. If you'd have offset by that same distance, you'd have got into that trade there and made a profit. Yeah. But you don't know what the price is going to do. It's impossible, isn't it? The same with indicator readings. Which one do you use? Should I use the RSI 10 or should I use the RSI 14? Or should I use the RSI 21? Don't know. Which one is the one that is going to give you the best entry? You can't tell me that, so I can't tell you which one to use. Use one. Doesn't matter. I'm using 10 at the moment because I like the 10. I teach 14 in the bootcamp because that was 4 years ago. I used to use a 21. Now I'm using a 10. I'm probably going to go back to the 14 if it continues to be as volatile as it is, but I'm expecting it to calm down. But you just can't. You cannot pick because you cannot see what's going to happen in the future. So out a little bit too soon on the FTSE, sorry, the S&P. Dow struggling a little bit. So we've got a propulsion gap formed there. We are sitting at the moment in a field propulsion gap here. So this hopefully is going to hold as a buy zone. If not, it's going to be down here, which means I'll get stopped out on that one, unfortunately. But we'll see where we go. Afternoon, Sam. Konnichiwa. Paolo. Afternoon, Chris. I expected RSI to give the earlier entry, and we know RSI overbought can remain that way, whereas ADR is based on the last 10 days or 14 days. Yeah, but so is RSI. This is the RSI 10. So this is the last 10 candles worth of relative strength. That is the 10-day RSI. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Go and do a back test. Yeah, the reason I'm so relaxed about indicators, EAs, and strategies, yeah, which is why I say this is the reason I put these buttons on here, yeah, is because you can press these buttons at random if you want to and still make money. Yeah, if you want to use the systems and strategies that I use, they work. Sometimes they don't. If you want to press these buttons, sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't. If you use any indicator, it will work, and it doesn't matter which one you use, it will work sometimes and it won't work. Yeah. Everybody has always got a better idea of how to get into the market. Yeah. But it will have the same strike rate, roughly, which is 50%, because the price can only do 2 things. So it doesn't matter which one you use. You just got to be relaxed about getting into the market, and that is only achieved by using small risk. If you press the button and you're panicking as soon as you go into drawdown on it, you're over leveraged. So it doesn't matter which indicators you use, just use ones that have a fairly good idea. You've got a fairly good idea that they have got a chance of working at some point. But I don't know how long something's going to push for, which is obviously evident on this trade here. But I've never seen a move like this before. This is unbelievably fast. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen a parabolic move on the euro like this before. Doesn't matter what indicator you used, everybody got that wrong. Everybody. Yeah, banks got that wrong. Everybody got this wrong. So this, you can fine tune this. Like this RSI 21 now. If I change this RSI 21 to 35, I reckon I'll probably get the entry right. No, still can't get it on that, basically. You couldn't use the RSI to time an entry on that one. You probably could on the 4, maybe. Yeah, I mean, there you go. There's my old friend, the 80. Look. So the 80 extension still triggered here. But I triggered there on the hourly. The 4-hour triggered there. But you still sat through that. No one's going to tell you. No one can tell you that that was coming. Yeah. It just happens. So you're in it. So as long as you're scaled in at the right size, you'll survive that. But there's no indicator that could forecast this. Mean reversion for me is all about elastic band theory. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what indicator you use. When the market has pushed hard in one direction, it will mean revert. It will always mean revert. Yeah. Every single time. There is never a time where the market does not mean revert. Yeah. Will always happen. If it mean reverts by 38%, which is a flag break pullback, or 23 is a flag break, but 38 is a shallow pullback, yeah, you will be able to get out of a position every single time. If you spaced your positions correctly, you will always have an exit. And the market will always pull back 38% on a retracement. Not quite done it on this one. But again, this is, we haven't seen a move like this. But I mean, it might still do it this afternoon, mightn't it? But we'll wait and see. But you've got a 23, which is a flag break pullback. Yeah. So this is the whole purpose of ADR and measuring by ADR, is to try and keep your entry within ADR. If you can keep your entry within ADR, you'll get an ADR pullback. This pullback from the high to the low there, ADR is 116. That was 332. That's 3 ADR, that pullback. 3 ADR. We only want 1. Worst case scenario, if you're spaced really badly, your average position may be about 200% of ADR. That pulled back 3. There was nobody, if they survived that squeeze, that didn't have an exit there. But the indicator's got nothing to do with that. The indicator got it wrong, and it always will. But just get in when it's pushed. Like everybody says, when I'm in 3 or 4 positions, take your first one. You'll miss most of my trades, but you won't get into too much trouble. A good strategy. Okay, Dow's out the highs. I've got a trailer running on it. I don't really want a trailer running on it. Just move the trailer down. Should have taken a partial on this by now, but I'm going to take a partial on that. I'm just going to get rid of the partial close. I'm just going to manage this one manually. Also going to get rid of the opposite side orders on these as well. They're all gone. Okay, so that's me kind of done on the indices today. So Bank 2.3, got a runner running on the Dow, and we'll see where the Dow goes. So what I would love to, I mean, I'm going to get stopped out on the trailer on this beforehand. I might actually leave this at break even and turn the trailer off. No, actually I won't leave it as is. So it's not a bad idea to get a runner going if you can today with something at break even. If you can get yourself really nicely spaced away from your entry by the time that Trump announcement comes out. So let's say, for example, the Dow hits these highs and sort of sits around 9 o'clock tonight. If you can have a trade on with a break even stop on it and get rid of the TP. If Trump sends for any reason the stock market flying this evening, I think it's more likely he's going to do that than that. But anyway, if he doesn't, you can get a very nice big run off today. So just be aware, if you're using the opening range breakout EA or the stock index hedge EA, it will automatically close your trades out at end of session time that you've set. So if you want to get a runner on and you want this basically not to do anything for you, make sure you go over and turn live trading off for the evening, just so that you can get that runner running. But yeah, I'm going to see if I can get that one going, but I'll probably get taken out on a trade on it. We'll see. Right, so that's all the FX stuff done. SIH basically, we've already hit target on the NASDAQ long, and we've got an exit on already. Blimey, that's no, we haven't. Sorry, SIH has got a trailing aggressive exit going, so just getting ready to get in on a short on that. Got to be a bit careful with this today. So I'm just thinking out loud. I'm just closing out the DOW. So that's all banked 600. I've got 220 hedge running. If that triggers and drops quickly, that gets me out. What I'm going to do when that does trigger, it's not going to trigger now, is it? I was just going to stick a stop loss on it, just because I don't want to be having a runner destroy the account. I'm going to watch the account basically today. Watch this runner. There we go. So it's trying to get in. I'm going to give that basically £600 worth of movement, and that's the maximum to date. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it and see if I can get out of this this one with a pullback. But what I'm worried about today is this thing just continuously rallying all day. Market's going to be repositioning itself ahead of Trump this evening. So there is a chance that we might get a massive move on the stocks this afternoon that just keeps going and going. Although it does look like it's weakening at the minute. Everything looks like it's starting to turn around. There you go. So I'm triggered on that short. So I'm going for £125 aggressive exit. I'm just going to put a stop on it, which is going to lock in another £70 worth of loss if it doesn't work out. Which it looks like it might do. Just be very careful with your risk today, because it's potentially going to be one of those days. Might just take that, to be honest. I'm taking it off. There you go. So done. Grand done on both strategies for the day, and flat. So haven't got to worry about Trump this evening on any of the index trades. Just making sure I've got no pendings running anywhere. Done. As you say, these are your systems back tested to death. I'll always weight my decisions based on your advice. I don't know where it's going. All I've done is backtest, right? And this is the thing with trading, with all strategies. Backtesting is backtesting. Backtesting tells you what would have happened in the past. Backtesting doesn't tell you that Trump is going to come in, upset world order, and what price action is going to be moving forward. Nobody knows that. Yeah. So you have to be able to adapt. I very rarely change my indicators that I use for my strategy entries. I do every now and again, just because I see the market shifting. And I see different ADRs and things. Yeah, so when the ADRs are contracting, I will make my indicators a little bit more sensitive to try and get into a few more trades. If I see the market expanding, I will make them a little less sensitive. But you can't keep changing it constantly. You just need to get in and sit and wait. Sometimes I get into stuff and I sit in it for ages and bank nothing. Right now is a prime example. I'm sitting in stuff. I haven't banked anything for days because the thing's just not going anywhere. Some stuff is, but it's just not the stuff I'm in at the moment. But you just have to sit there and wait. There's nothing you can do about it. I've taken a massive loss on this account over the last month, as we know, because of these squeezes. But those squeezes have been more than paid for with other accounts and strategies. Yeah, absolutely killing it. So you've got to balance what's going on in the market with different types of strategy to be long-term successful. You have to be able to adapt, which is why I have a scalping strategy running with a mean reversion strategy. Something that's trading breakouts is going to work when the market is choppy a lot of the time on a daily basis. Yeah, obviously on a low time frame, it's not going to work, a breakout strategy. But when the market is sitting around doing this and shooting up and down all day long, breakout strategies on low time frames are going to absolutely kill it. When the market is parabolic, your mean reversion strategies, like the position trading strategy, are going to struggle, but your breakout strategies are going to kill it. When the market is nice and orderly and market structure is just playing out like that, your breakout strategies will struggle to continuously make money because there'll be a lot of movement up and down, which means you get stopped out on them an awful lot. But your mean reversion strategies are going to absolutely kill it. Yeah. So when one isn't working, the other one is. You've got to have that balance. But if you keep constantly changing the inputs of your strategy, you will never have something that's consistent. When I backtest stuff, what I'm looking for is what works during choppy conditions and what works during squeezy conditions. And I try and pick something roughly in the middle. So I know I'm going to miss a lot of opportunities. Yeah. But when I get squeezed, I'm going to be able to survive most opportunities. Yeah. And that's what I've back tested, and that's what I trade. I get caught out every now and again. So does everybody else. There's nothing you can do about it. But it's rare, very rare. But you just got to pick something you like. I just use what I use because all I do is, if you can do this yourself very easily. If you go out onto a chart, and this is how I developed my initial strategies, was just looking at charts and eyeballing them. And it's the easiest way to eyeball it. So I look at an RSI and I look at it and go, right, well, how many times does it get extended above the 80 level on the 4? In fact, that's the wrong one. Let me do a 14, which is what I initially used. Let's just pick something that's a little bit less crazy. So pound US dollar, normally nice and stable. The way I initially developed strategies, if you look at every single, and the way I did it, which is exactly if you want to do this, is I stick basically a line on the chart whenever I get an RSI extension. Yeah. You've probably seen this in the bootcamp, this almost exact screenshot in the bootcamp. Easiest way to develop a strategy. I'm just going with the highs at the moment of RSI, not the lows. Yeah. So those are all the 80 RSI extensions. So I'd have sold that. I'd have sold that. I'd have sold that. I'd have sold that. And I'd have sold that. And I'd have sold that. So how many of those were right? 1. Crap, isn't it? But it's not crap. That one was 1 in, 1 out. Happy days. That was 1 in, 2 in, 3 in, out. Happy days. That was 1 in, 2 in, 3 in, out. Happy days. So far, happy days. That was 1 in, 2 in, 3 in, out. Happy days. No signal. Didn't get extended. Should have done. So should I drop down to the 70? because I missed that massive move. So I'll drop my indicator down to the 70. No, leave it at the 80. The 80 works. We know it works. The 70 we'll test in a minute. In here. In, out. Happy days. 100% strike rate on shorts on the pound US dollar since January 2024. It's an entire year. 100% strike rate. So should you use the 21? Should you use the 14? Should you use the 10 RSI? Should you use the 70, the 75, or the 80? Up to you. They will all work. What they will do is they will give you different entries. They won't make your entries more accurate, because if you use the 80, as you can see, it got 1 out of 5 stroke 6 trades right on the first attempt. But we're not looking to be right on the first attempt as position traders. We're looking to be right. We're looking for the market to pay us. If it pushes up to there and it doesn't pull back, it will do next time, because the market can't sustain a rally that long. Look at the shorts. The shorts are more difficult. You would have been more squeezed on the shorts. So 80, there was one there. There was one, oops, there. One there. Sorry, the longs I'm talking about, not the shorts. One there. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. So we went long there. Entry was wrong. Scale in, out. We went long. You might have gone long on that one. Long there. Wrong. Totally wrong. So you would have also gone long there. If you'd have got in that trade there, you'd have scaled in. I don't know how many times you would have scaled in. It depends when you got out. But there was an exit there. That was a 50% retracement on that. But if you didn't get that, you would have still been in it, and you'd have been taking more trades as this thing continued to come down, and then you'd have got out on that, because that entire move there is a 38 retracement. Always will retrace 38%. Yeah. But you would have sat through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, either somewhere between 4 to 8 weeks of pain. But you wouldn't have lost money. So should you now not use the 80? Should you use the 90? Doesn't matter, does it? If you'd have got in long on that one, that was a nice easy out. If you'd have got in long on that one, that was easy. Yeah. So you got a squeeze there, which lasted for weeks. Would have been painful. Probably 10, 12% of your account. If you'd have gone in with a 0.5% or 1% risk, you'd have blown your account. But we don't go in with 1% risk. We go in with 0.1, 0.2, max. Yeah. You would have survived that. Other trades on other instruments like the euro, you know, this euro odd extension from there, that was the 80. You still had to survive that. I got in here. Look at the distance difference. Yeah, I took all that extra heat there, which is why I had to exit. If I'd have taken the 80, brilliant. But I didn't. I took the 70. Got me in earlier. Yeah. So you're going to get more trades, that's all, by changing your indicators. You're not going to get it right anymore. You're just going to get different entries. You still don't know what any of these are going to do. Don't have to use the RSI. Use a stochastic. Use a CCI. Use a MACD. Use whatever you want. I just use the RSI. I can put as many indicators as I like into that position trader EA or any product that I create to trade with. But it won't make me any more successful. The CCI is no more accurate than the RSI, than the stochastic, than the MACD. They will all just give you a signal at a different point in time. But if the market is going to squeeze, they're all going to be wrong. Yeah. And it doesn't matter which one you use, which one you pick. They will all be right. But they will all be wrong. It's just personal preference. You know, some people love to be in it all the time, as much as possible. Some people want to be in as few trades as possible with as little drawdown as possible. and you just pick the indicator that you test and you see suits you the best. But every test you do will get one of those at some point on an instrument of some degree, and it will show you the dollar value of your drawdown, and you adjust your risk according to survive the worst case scenario that you have seen in the past. That's all you can do. I have got a strategy that I've been trading for many, many years that has worst case scenario built into it. This is my new worst case scenario. I've not seen it before. It's never happened before. So I can't predict it. I can't plan for it. And it hurt. So now I can plan for that. So what should I do? Knock 5% off my risk when I go in? Can do. But I'm going with the fact that this has happened once in 5 years. And hopefully it's going to continue as normal from now. And we've had one weird thing. So, you can adjust if you want to. But, all you're going to do is take less opportunities the more you wait for price to move. So don't forget, the vast majority of trades that I enter into are a maximum of 4 trades in a position. When it gets to 8 to 10 trades in a position, it's really, really wrong. But changing your indicators doesn't do that. Doesn't help you. Or changing whether you use ADR or RSI. It's not going to help you. If you got in on RSI, you're still squeezed. You're still going to get squeezed. Dow's off. They're all off, actually. So I'm being uber cautious today. That was super, super silly move. But I'd rather be uber cautious than uber dead later when Trump talks. Right. I haven't really got anything else to discuss today because we've gone through pretty much the ADRs. RSIs are flat at the moment. There's a couple, obviously, which we've looked at. 4-hour RSIs are all kind of rolling over now at the minute because, as you can see, the last few weeks, the vast majority of the market has been choppy. We haven't had a lot of movement, hence not a lot of entries and also not a lot banked. Yeah, you can't bank money if you're not getting any signals to enter the market. So it's very, very sideways, but very strong intraday movement. So low time frames doing very, very well. But at the moment, we're just waiting for Trump to make his announcements. So there's not much point in doing any analysis on anything at the moment because whatever you look at is going to change at 9 p.m. this evening. Potentially. I mean, we know what's coming, but we don't know really what's coming because obviously Trump decides to change his mind whenever he fancies. So at the minute, what we're anticipating is a load of tariffs, which it's unclear as to whether the market is going to rally or dump the US. So whatever happens today will likely be undone over the coming week. So just be prepared for a load of whipsaw. If you can get positions going today ahead of what's coming this evening, it's not a bad thing to do. I've got a very nice short on at the moment on the pound US dollar. If he decides to rally the US this evening, this is going to make a fortune. If he dumps the US, I'm out. So we will see what happens, but one of those things is going to happen. As you can see, the market really is just sitting around at the minute waiting to see what happens. So just be very, very, very careful this evening. There's no point in putting huge risks on without any protection, because if it does go the opposite way to whatever you're picking, it's going to go hard potentially. So I'll say that, and then I'll come on tomorrow morning in the member stream and nothing will have moved. But this is they've been talking this up for a long time. There was a guy from Bloomberg. I was reading an article. No, not Bloomberg. From was it Redwood? Who was it from? I can't remember where he was from, but it was one of the big fund managers. Did an interview yesterday, and he basically said they are hedging all of their risk on the US dollar at the moment with a view to exiting their positions completely on the US dollar over the coming weeks. And the reason being, he thinks that the US dollar is going to lose its status as the world currency. And he is predicting rightly or wrongly, that the market will move much more into the BRICS currencies. So what Trump said was, if BRICS starts to threaten the US dollar, he will put 100% tariffs on BRICS countries. Yeah, which means that BRICS countries will put 100% reciprocal tariffs on. BRICS is bigger than the US. All that does is destroy the US dollar. So we've got big funds now looking at what Trump's doing and thinking, we don't want to be buying the dollar. If that sentiment continues, we're going to see the market gradually pulling out of the US dollar and also pulling out of US stocks and money being put elsewhere. And it's going to go into BRICS. Potentially, it could go into crypto as well. However, crypto is an incredibly risky asset. So big funds are not going to stick a load of money into crypto. So looking at things like the Swiss franc and the yen potentially, very large moves on those currencies as well, potentially. So, yeah, we've got big names basically in the industry now condemning what Trump is doing. So if you've got guys that are high up in banks saying, we don't want anything to do with the dollar anymore, it's only one way from there. So he's got to either sort this out, and this evening is obviously the main announcement about the tariffs and what he's planning to do, or there's potential for an absolute bloodbath. So hence me moving risk right down on the position trading account. I'm trading 7 instruments which are totally uncorrelated and making sure that my risk is as low as it can possibly be. Because if that dollar does collapse, obviously we haven't seen what happens. Yeah, it's not done it before, has it? Yeah. So I don't think it's that likely, because I think there's people within the White House and within the Fed who are going to have to turn around and go, sorry, Trump, off you go. I don't think there's, you can't let one man destroy the world. So I'm not convinced that's going to happen, but people are talking, obviously, in large institutions now. Dow's just broken out highs, recent highs. So high of the day on the cards, which is yesterday's high as well. So watch that 42 100 level for upside target. Yeah. Anybody got anything they want to look at? Anything they want to discuss? Speak now, or forever hold your peace. Anybody trading the opening range breakout EA version 3 having any problems? There's a few people who have said that they're not closing partials. But I think that's probably brokers not allowing them to close partials. I've got one person that's got a problem with the licensing system because their computer cannot make external web calls for some reason. Can't help you with that one. But other than that, be interested to get any feedback if anybody's got any problems with the ORB, because I can't break it myself. So I'm always looking for any issues that people have got to try and fix, but I need to be able to replicate them, which is the danger, or rather the difficulty. So keep me updated if you do have any. Beautiful, strong moves. So again, be careful if you've got your pending orders left on the DAX or the FTSE from this morning, because that could actually get up there today. ORB and POS, all good. Excellent. So I've got another guaranteed 288 locked in. Pound. I get so confused with brokers, and this is Global Prime. So this is actually a pound account. My Darwin X was a pound account, but I've got other accounts running in dollars. So whenever I look at my P&L, I'm like, oh, and then I'll suddenly realize, oh, that's a dollar account. But anyway, this is a pound account. I use your MRA dashboard. I'd like to have just 5 and 15 minute. I have alerts to them only, but it still calculates the others. Well, you don't look at it, WDS. The dashboards are not for looking at, they're for alerting. They're not visual tools, they are audio tools. So the reason you can't hide the columns is because you don't need to. Yeah, this dashboard here. Yeah, and this dashboard here are there, and they sit in the background. Yeah, and they alert. They're not for visual, especially the MRA dashboard, because the market reverse alerts dashboard shows past signals, so that you can't act on those because they will have been happened in the past as well. It's just purely there for alerts. So the idea is you're sitting, doing whatever you're doing, it pings, you look at the chart. Yeah, so when you get a reversal alert indicated by the dashboard, you open the chart and you see if you want to take the trade. But it's a very old dashboard as well. That nothing wrong with it. Someone contacted me the other day on MQL5 and said, I was looking to buy your, I can't remember what it was. I think it was the ADR dashboard. This one. And he said, it looks really old. You haven't updated it for 2 years. I was like, it's because it doesn't need updating. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It measures the average daily range and it alerts you when the average daily range is hit. Would you like me to push an update out? Would that make you happy? You can buy it then. So I can change it from version whatever it is. This is the conversation I had. I can change it from version 1.2 to version 1.21 and push the alert, push the update out. Would you like to buy it then? Well, it'd be nice to see it being updated. Does what it does. Why would I update it? It does exactly what it needs to do. It alerts me when there's an ADR hit, or a weekly, or a monthly. But I guess people don't want to buy old stuff. People, I assume, think that old stuff is broken. It doesn't work anymore because it's old. I'm old. I still work. Not as well as I used to, but I still work. Surely things that are older are better because they're tried and tested. That's what I would say. But anyway, so I can do updates on stuff, but the reason you could turn the alerts off on the MRA dashboard is so that you don't get alerted to them. That's it. That's what it's for. That's why you've got the alerts turned off and on, not the columns. The way that I built these dashboards, you can't hide these very easily because the way that they're drawn. So I could rebuild all the dashboards. In fact, I'm actually thinking of rebuilding the ADR dash and the RSI dash completely and turning them into EAs, so that you can have them running on and you can actually press buttons to action them as well. So I'm thinking of doing that so that they're more usable, so that people can actually trade from the dashboards. So that is on my massive to-do list. Update them and call them all AI. That's what people want. I know. God, have you seen the amount of AI crap on MQL5 Marketplace at the moment? Look, AIQ, Open AI, Beatrix. There's loads of it. Eternal Engine probably uses neural networks. Doesn't. Yeah, there's loads of them at the moment, unfortunately. Open AI, the number one selling EA, $399. Quantum Emperor, $1,049. Bitcoin Robot. Gold stuff. Oh, God. AI, what's this one? AI General Robot. Golden AI EA. Titan Gold AI. Infinity with AI on it. Goldex AI. Brilliant. Look at all these AIs. They're amazing, aren't they? Open AI MT4. I downloaded this one the other day and this one and put them in the back tester. I don't know how they sell them, because people obviously do not backtest. But if you backtest those, you would never use them. They're just terrible. Don't know. Maybe because I couldn't be bothered to learn them. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I should do. Put the word AI or robot. So this is the opening range breakout AI. EA. I don't know. Looks like might get stopped out on the Dow. We've got a bit of rejection going in up at these highs. Very extended. Looks like it wants a little bit of a pullback, but I'll let it run and see where we go. The new breakout strategy that I'm running at the moment. Oh my God, it's gone into drawdown. This is actually, I've just put this on another small account. This is a new version, so I've put it on a small account. It's just a $1,500 account, just to test it out. I've put some AI into this. It's got a very cool little loss recovery system, which does partial profit takes to recover losses. You see it in work there, look. So it took a 510 loss and it decided to close out a partial on the DAX at 621 to recoup that loss. So I've kind of updated this. I was going to cover this in the members stream tomorrow, but I've done so much work on it and changed it so much I can't really now, because it's a totally different thing. So this is running at the moment, doing very well. It's had some blips, which I was expecting, and what I was also expecting was for it to recover them, which it's done, which is great. Yeah, this is another strategy that I'm going to be I've been working on it for a while, but I'm doing some advanced back testing, which is obviously happening here. It's about to finish. Yeah, I'll be covering that in the members stream at some point, but I'll probably stick the word AI on it, just so that everybody buys it. Won't really. Still going on the Dow. Right, that's all I've got for you today. I'll be back tomorrow morning for the members stream at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow we're going to do a session on MT4 and MT5 and using it, basically. So it's a session that somebody's asked for, and it's been on my list of to-dos for ages. So I'm basically just going to go through MT4, how it works, and go through all the little bits and pieces of MT4 and MT5, just to show people everything about it, basically. So it's kind of a lesson from the ground up on MetaTrader. You should rename your channel the Market Structure AI as well. I could do. That would work. I might as well make myself a robot. God, there's so much that somebody posted in Discord the other day the answer to a question. I'd already answered the question, but they posted an AI answer to the question as well. God, people are getting AI to do everything. Good luck making it trade for you. But yeah, there's a lot of hype about it at the moment. Even Greg Secker's jumped on the bandwagon. Yeah, I mean, if Greg Secker... Can we talk about Greg Secker? Rather not. Master trader. I just got scammed. That's more like it. Learn to trade algo. That's not Greg Secker's stuff, is it? No. But yeah, even he's jumped on the bandwagon. Yeah, it's obviously something that's getting very popular. I can't even find it now, but his adverts keep coming up. He's got an advanced AI algorithm now. But we've been doing this for years, yeah? AI is basically an artificial intelligence, and all it's doing is basically doing stuff faster and better than human beings. But we've got 100 years worth of a head start on trading. Yeah, we know what works and what doesn't work in trading, and it can't see into the future either. So it can tell you what is better and worse to do. And I think it's probably got a spot where it can increase the speed of your education by telling you not what to do. But you're still going to do it because you don't believe it. You won't believe it. You won't believe me. You won't believe it. You won't believe anybody. Yeah, that's what we do. We go and try stuff. That's how you learn. So this is why everybody blows accounts constantly, because they're trying stuff. Yeah, they're trying stuff that people tell them works. They find out it doesn't work, and then eventually they go around in a circle until they go, aha. And then suddenly they figure out that you just press buttons and wait. And that's it. So AI does the same thing. You can ask it what is the best trading strategy out there, and it will give you a load of trading strategies. You can ask it what the best money management strategy is, and it will tell you what the best money management strategies are in certain conditions. What it can't tell you is which condition is coming next to match the strategy to it. It doesn't help. There's nothing AI can do apart from increase the speed of education. It cannot help you trade better. It can help you stop doing certain things after you've tried it and you verified it was right to tell you what it did, but it's not going to do anything more than that. And all this stuff that is advertised as AI, most of it's utter rubbish. For a start, you can't integrate this terminal with any kind of AI anyway. So physically, from a programming perspective, it can't do anything with AI. End of story. That's it. So it's bollocks. Anyway, as we know, 90% of this industry is bollocks. Right. I will leave you there. Anything you need, let me know. Just about to stop out on the Dow second half. So I will be back tomorrow morning. We'll cover that. And yeah, I'll be back on Friday. And obviously, if you're not coming to the member streams tomorrow, Friday we'll have a look at the recap of the week. And we'll be seeing what Trump's done. So I will be possibly putting a post out in Discord anyway. But oh, there you go. So it's already started. Oh, here we go. Yeah, right. So this is all preemptive. So Europe basically making sure he knows that if he does something, they're going to hit back. Mexico and Canada, same thing. So obviously you're going to get this constantly now. So whatever happens, it's going to be the Trump effect. I think if you get that, short it. It's likely to be undone very, very fast. So we just need to be aware and wait and see what happens. Market's crapping itself. That was 18 yesterday. It's 15. I've never seen it down at 10. We're on the way. So yeah, be careful today. Was that something about Russia as well? US issues new Russia-related sanctions. Iran, we're ready for indirect nuclear talks with the US. I'm going to crawl under a rock. Right, I'll see you guys next stream. Have a good one.